Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game Day Squads Aussie Rules live show. We're here to preview and have a look at the round that's about to be. And we've got the best team in the competition playing tonight. Up the bloody Swannies. Let's go. Who's excited? I'm excited. Cal, are you excited?
Mate, I'm always excited. I thought you were going to forget what you were doing there for a second. The pause had me guessing if you knew where you were. But yes, our Swannies are playing tonight. You know that we both love them. We absolutely love
playing tonight.
I'm not a Port fan. I haven't been a Port fan for months. But, mate, I'm a fantasy fan, and that's what we're here for. Some good games coming up. Some great questions to answer ahead of what is going to be a big round 11 of fantasy footy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I can't wait. I've been a bit lost with some positions, I can't lie, Cal, when I was setting my squad, but there's other ones that I feel like are just like locked in. And it feels good. You know those players you just in your squad you need locked in, bit of comfort. Or at least let's hope so. We'll see how they perform. But let's rip in tonight. We're going to do tonight a little bit differently, Cal. I thought about something that we should do. Just a little like audible, let's call it. A substitution maybe that we should
You're getting excited for NFL season early.
I am. What we're going to do tonight, so we would love to answer some questions as we go. And for some of the best questions, we are going to select them for our buy, give, sell section this week. But we're going to do it a little bit differently. I won't give away too much now. I'll explain all those details later. So sit back, relax, but put some questions in. For the best ones, you're going to be automatically nominated to get a player card later. That's how it's going to function. That's how we're going to work today. And Cal, we're here, of course, because of Game Day Squad. Multi-competitions coming out in
next week.
Under 2 weeks or next week.
Next week. So, yeah, if everything goes to plan, we're going to wake up Monday, push the update through to the app. So coaches will be there Monday night ready to start building their multiple competitions for the next round.
You're telling me there's a chance that I could go 4-0 against you in a week, let alone 1-0.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there is a chance. Yeah. I've been prepping. As you know, I've been prepping for these other competitions. I think I'm going to be very competitive at the starter level, which is going to be our bronze only competition. Good luck trying to catch me there. So no, I can't wait for it. I think there's a lot of coaches excited. Obviously 2 brand new competitions starting from the start. So if things haven't gone to plan this season, you may be looking at someone, Tom. I get a fresh start and I can attack another comp. I'm super excited. I'm also super excited we've just flicked over to there, and that is also something starting next week. So I know everyone here is an Aussie Rules fan, but I know everyone here is also a fantasy sport fan. So Cricket World Cup kicks off. It's not the World Cup Australia's defending, but hey, it feels like only a few months ago we won and we beat India in the one day. So now we've got the T20 World Cup. I'm super excited. Things kick off over in America. It's weird seeing some weird matchups, Tom. So, but yeah, I know you're not a big cricket guy, so I won't bore you with that. But just letting everyone know we're pumped about that here at Game Day Squad.
Yes. I think a little bit out of my element, as some would say, when we're talking about cricket, but I'm well in my element here, which is all I need to be. Cal, this is the round, a little preview of the games. Doggy Swans, Freo Collingwood, which that just has numbers and stats written all over it. North Port.
Well, you've jumped the gun here because we haven't even spoken about the team list. Normally we jump straight into that, but you were just too excited.
Yeah, let's preview the round and then we can talk about some of the. Let's have a look at some of the games, some of the decisions that our coaches need to make. And we got Carlton, the Suns, Geelong Giants. That should be bloody cracker.
Can I tell you what piqued my interest as I was going through the teams as they were announced just before? So a few big ins. Sean Darcy's back in, which means Luke Jackson experiment. Is that over? I think for most coaches it is going to be.
I wasn't rolling with it anyway, in my personal opinion.
No, it did not work for the people who tried it, me being one of them. Rosie's back. You know my rule. I do not like playing players first week back from injury. We've got a big decision with him in my prize card. Jezza is back. Sicily back. You're probably not rushing into either of them, but definitely a couple of pods you can do as well. And Desing's already called it out. Ridley being in helped Martin or hurt him. think it hurts him, but they do have such a tasty matchup. I was tempted to play Martin in there this week as well. So I've got another direction for that. But obviously, Parrish being out still, there's still a lot of footy to go around. That's what piqued my interest. What piqued yours?
We'll talk about it later. I don't know. But yeah, definitely some big names in there. I just have a looking at some of the names that you read out, like Sicily, Cameron in particular. I am personally not going to rush back into them. Like the matchups aren't great. Like especially like Cameron's going up against the Giants. The Giants are one of the best defenses in the competition against key forwards. They do such a fantastic job of locking down and making sure that there's no easy pill for them. So like Jezza, that doesn't scream out at me. Sicily, it's going to be a tough day in the office against the Lions. I'll tell you what, man, that Hawthorn Lions game, that could be tough to watch if you're a Hawthorn fan with the form that Brizzy are in.
So. Talking about this is the best the Hawks have been in ages. They've won 3 on the trot, mate. Oh, sorry. I lie. They should have won 3 on the trot. They should have
won 3 on the trot. That was, you nabbed them in the last second of the game.
There you go. That's my brain. I haven't done that's not me doing that on purpose. That is me just counting that as a win for Hawthorn last week. But
did you like my point of the round?
What have you done? It's a bit small on my screen. Read it out for me.
Battle of the Zeus Cannons. It's the GOAT versus the Bloods. We got Tim English versus my Swannies tonight. I thought that was my highlight of the round. That's what I wanted to bring up.
I thought we had the Collingwood Freo game tonight. I wasn't excited, and it was only when I sat down and my partner being a Swans fan, as you know, was like, "Oh, Swans are playing," and I was like, "Oh, is that tonight?" So yeah, that's a biggie. Talking about big, Marshall versus Gawn. If you guys following along, watch the show we put out on YouTube on Tuesday this week. It broke my matchup matrix calculator. I was struggling to speak talking about the Marshall versus Gawn, what was going to happen. I told you I didn't know what to do. And honestly, up until 10 minutes ago, I didn't know what I was doing, and it still might change. But that is the one I know a lot of people are talking about. Can you play both of them? We'll talk about that when we see our squads in just a moment, I'm sure.
Fair enough. Are you ready to go? Ready to rip in them?
Yeah, let's rip in.
Man. Peanut butters this week. Let's have a look in. Take us through top 3.
Yeah, number 1. Does anyone watching have a spare Bronze Fisher? Because I've been trying to get my hands on this bloke for a few weeks now, and
everyone remember what he does in the buy, sell, hold section. Just before that, you want to go out and give your fishes. Just remember, if you've been selected by a cow, how he's done you. That's all I want to say.
I've looked after a few people, but yeah, definitely need myself a fisher because you know what, Tom? Come next week, I might actually need 2. I'm going to need at least 2, right? Playing one in the starter into the classic. So only give them to me if you've somehow managed to get 3 on your hands, but please hit me up. I'm not going to turn down this opportunity to get some trades in before the round, Tom. Number 2. Sorry, my screen's a bit small here. Just got to zoom in. One saying, don't play weak, play meek. And I think that tells you what I've done with the rucks this week. I also had, it's time to Lloyd up on Lloyd as the other one. I was getting the puns ready for it. Yeah, haven't gone Gawn. Don't like the form he's been in, although he's got the favourable matchup. English versus Grundy tonight. Lloyd Meek, sneaky been one of the best players in the game lately. And I've got to pick some pods, and I think he's a fantastic one. So don't be weak. Follow me and play Meek. Number 3, bounce back game for Zachy Merritt. I talked about the matchup he had. I didn't play Martin. I decided to put an extra cap into Zachy Merritt instead. That's how I've tackled that matchup because I think they're going to absolutely blitz him. He had his first game below 100, I think we said on Tuesday for the season. So, I fully expect him to bounce back and be the best player on the ground. So, Zachy Merritt, bounce back game, loading.
Nice. All righty, man. You got Nick Newman in. I know he's in good form. Bit of a surprise, just in my eyes at least. There's some good players out there. No Whitfield for you.
Yeah, Whitfield I had some notes on. I wouldn't mind touching on him. He's been pretty poor the last few weeks if you dive into his numbers. And last week, he was actually saved because he had a bunch of kick-ins. If he didn't have them, his score would have been stinky. Yep. So, I'm avoiding him at the moment, which is a bit of a shock considering how good of a form he was in at the start of the season. The other ones I didn't mention there, pretty vanilla forward line. I imagine most people would have sort of some variation of that, or at least a bunch of them.
Yep.
But yeah, I've tried to do a few pods trying to go for Zachy Butters. I've backed him in again. I think Port have a really good favourable matchup. And Tom, I've broken the rule. I've played Connor Rozee. I'm going to do it. Because
rules are meant to be broken,
Kev. If Ken can play him when his hamstring is still torn or whatever he's strained a few weeks ago against the Crows, then I can do it if he's still not 100% healthy, because apparently Ken is a coaching wizard, and I might as well follow him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's really good. I know you love him, so you may as well just admit it now and just follow him 100%.
Absolutely. What have you got cooking for us?
I'm a bit disappointed because having a look. I think our forward lines are the exact same before flicking over. We'll see in a second. And you followed me with Houston. It's very like you. You're usually 1 week late, and you've done this again. You like to follow my decisions. And it's a little bit disappointing to see Dan Houston in there. Here we go. Zeus Cannons. Week 11, round 11. Pretty vanilla. As again, the forward line is literally the exact same, other than I have silver on Waterman and Flanders because I don't have a bronze variant of either one. So got to play a silver for both. So probably not ideal, but I'd rather play the two players than to not play them at all. So if I've got to use some salary cap there, it is what it is. My first question, though, Silver Walsh or Silver Butters. Now, with the news of Connor Rozee coming in, I do think I'm now going to lean towards Walsh. I'm going to do my rankings a little bit later. I will say that I did have Butters in there only because I've just given him the edge because, matchup, and also I thought Rozee wouldn't play. I had a strong feeling that they were going to rest him again because, why rush him back in? But I forgot it's Ken Hinkley. What am I thinking? Of course he's going to rush him back in. Second point, which two rucks to start? I'm really stuck on this one this week. I just think that it's probably a week where people are going to take risks, and you've gone Meek, you've got Lloyd. Sorry, I should say. You're definitely taking the risk. I do think this is where we're going to see our coaches at the top of the leaderboard win their weeks making these decisions. This is going to be the difference maker. Who's going to pick the two highest scoring ruck players this round? Because I feel like there's going to be someone that ton up and they score massive. But who's it going to be? There's some really tough matchups as well. Some really good ruck duos going head to head. So in my eyes, it's such a critical area this round. And whoever can nail it, I think is going to do extremely well. And my third point, Sinclair or Wanganeen Millera, I still haven't got it right yet. Now, every single time I've played one, the other has scored higher. Okay, I've not once played the highest scoring out of the two. Now, I've gone with something, and I'll just explain it now. You'll see in my tears later. But I actually think Sinclair will have the better week. So I've put Wanganeen Millera in because whatever I think, the opposite happens. So I'm doing the little double cross here. I'm thinking Sinclair, the data, what I'm thinking, it all goes to Jack Sinclair. He's going to have the better round. But every time I've thought this, I've been wrong. So, Millera, get in the call up, mate. Welcome. I'm going to start you this round.
Love it, because I've obviously gone Sinclair.
Yep.
So
I saw that and I had a little giggle because I thought it's the right decision, but for me, I'll screw it over. So I'm not going to do it to everyone.
Right, let's go through your team in a few questions, and we'll start going through some of these comments that have been coming through.
Yeah, 100%.
You have an all-star Tim English. You jumped up and down about it. You called it over, and he's now out of your squad.
Yeah, just this round. I don't think this is the round to deploy the salary cap when I'm so up in the air about which rucks to even start. I can't be spending my salary cap there, especially when I know Dawson, first of all, has a delicious matchup this week against West Coast. Last game of the round, I am very pumped for Geordie Dawson. And then last week, I only didn't put Gould on All-Star because I thought matchup-wise, it probably wasn't the round. But, man, all I see is 20 kicks from this guy every single round. And if you're going to continue to get 20 kicks, then that's worth putting the all-star salary cap on. So for a round where I'm umming and ahhing, safer bet for me is to deploy these two all-stars that I have.
And it's probably fair. I'm just looking at Goulden's numbers. For some reason, I think he's having a worse year than he is, and I think it's last year he was what?
He's just so good last year, and he was also a forward. So I think it's a bit of a double.
Yeah, last week. So he's averaging 127, and that's with one score below 100, and that was in week 1. So you take out that week 1 score, and he's probably up there 135.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And 20 kicks. Look how many 20 kick games. Like if you got it in front of you, it's just 20 kicks, 20 kicks, 20 kicks, 20 kicks. And in a competition where you get 4 points per, like it's just an easier decision for me to run there. I think the biggest thing on my squad though, and I didn't put it in my notes, is Nick Martin.
Yeah, you've gone him. You've gone him over Merritt too.
Yeah, I actually don't like the form that I've seen Merritt in. I just think someone like Nick Martin has been taking too many of his touches. Like he's playing that high defender or mid defender, role. And in a matchup like Ridley being back might throw a little spanner in the works here. And I sort of agreed. Desync, you brought it up before, and I think I'm going to nominate you as one of the players. If you haven't nominated, I think I am because that's such a good point.
No, I haven't nominated anyone yet. Is this your first nomination for the new game?
Yes. So Desync, right. I'm going to nominate you for this
Your team Tom Desync. There you go. Squad Tom.
Squad Tom.
Doesn't work.
Exactly. So man, like it's a toughie. It's a toughie now. I almost might even lean Merritt just because, like, I just know if you look at the form, it just tells you to go Nick Martin. But I just think some of those easy touches in the goal square, like, does Ridley come in and start taking kick-ins again? Because he definitely does have some sort of a kick-in role when he plays for Essendon.
Yeah, and like just to call out the form you're talking about, so base card he went 100 2 weeks ago and he went 86 last week, which was his first score under 100 all season. So
that back to back, it just doesn't, and a good matchup as well in there. Who was last week? I can't remember. Sorry.
They flogged.
It's pretty tasty.
They were the one game they should have smashed. Were they playing North? Yeah, they were close game, and then North ran away with it. We try to keep our eyes on the Aussie or the AFL all weekend. We were at Magic Round, so unfortunately we had to look at rugby league the whole weekend.
Yes,
but it's all right. We still managed to keep an eye on our fantasy squads.
I want to pull up this comment right here. Can we do this just quickly? Because I think last season Tom Green was in everyone's mids.
I want to talk about him too. Can you bring up Skip's comment? Because he had a question about he got his mid sorted, but it needed one. So Skip, you're the first person I'm including in my squad because of this comment. So stay around. You'll be part of the game a bit later on. I've got my mid sorted, but who do I play out of Green, Bont, and Walsh? Walsh has a really, really tough matchup this week against the Suns. They don't let midfielders score well. Toby Green this week. Who's he got, Tom? Geelong. Bit of a middle of the road. Bont has got a tough matchup against Goulden's got a tough matchup against Bont's got a tough matchup against Goulden and the Swans. That's what I meant to say. I do not like Tom Green's form since he got injured against the Swans a few weeks ago. And I'm a type of player who, and I guess it comes down to where you are sitting at the moment, Skip. But if you can afford to take the risk, I don't know a lot of coaches be rolling with Green this week.
Skip's having a good year.
Yeah. So if you're in prize card range, then maybe Bont is the safer option. Why? Because he's still one of the best players in the game. And I'm not sure the Dogs are ready to quit the season just yet. And I reckon he's a large part of it. So, yeah, I think that is dependent on how your season's going. But it's a really good question. Tom Green, we all had down as one of the highest scoring players for the season. And, yeah, that injury is just even before the injury.
Even before. I think it's just been the biggest disappointment period in regards to, like, expectation and output.
Yeah.
I reckon it has to go there. Skip, though, my play, I'm actually going to say go Walsh. I know all of them pretty much have a bad matchup, in all honesty. Like, if you look at it, you look at some of the numbers and the for and against, like, it doesn't look great for either or. But I think Walsh, he's a really good inside player and he's really quick off the ball. Like, yes, the Suns really do lock him down, but Bont against the Swans, don't want it. Green against Geelong, don't want it because it's matchup and form. So, personal opinion, we'll see how it goes, though. This is what I love about fantasy footy.
Love it. Love it. Well, we've got Corporate Who's also asking Gold Sheasel too high as a rarity. Bit of a bounce.
It's actually, it's an all-star as well. So, I think he's referring to yours. Here.
I thought he was just asking the question, is a Gold Sheasel too high a rarity? I'm willing. take.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I got you now.
I don't know what was happening there. Yeah, I think this week is as a bit of a pod. Some coaches a lot. I think is a really tough one. If I'm sitting there in a prize card spot at the moment, I'm about playing him, and I probably go the safer option. So yeah, if you aren't, again, and like we're talking about with Skip, someone that could be a situation dependent one. Corporate Ruse, I'll throw you in my squad. You'll be my second selection for that one. So,
second selection.
Yep. Well, now got one more spot available. Say something. I can't say that. I was going to say something not nice about Ken Inkley.
We're sort of giving it away a little bit, but yeah, we need to get 3 selections in here each. So Cow's already filled up 2. We need some more questions though, because I need 2 more to fill up as well. So definitely get your questions in, and this might be the perfect time. I meant to change it to 11. Disregard. All right. I'm sorry, mate, but I did change my tiers. Okay, the tiers are done. Just not at number 11 there. So get the questions in.
Slack, you're all over the place, mate. The stress of falling down the leaderboard is getting to you.
It's coming from someone who hasn't cracked the top, 30 this year?
Hey.
Come on, man. Hey, don't hit me this. Let's go to silver.
Yeah.
These are my silver tiers. Yeah. You got to look closely. Look really closely at the Saints. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can now. I wouldn't have picked it up.
I'm bloody half and half them because I can't pick between the 2. So I just thought I'd merge them together into one card. So we got
the ultimate stack.
And Claire.
Imagine you can do that. You can pick 2 players on the same team. You stack them together and you just get their average. Imagine doing that with like Luke Ryan and Young, or when you couldn't pick them at the start of the year, you just put them together, stack them, off you go. Lions midfielders, Lockie Neal, Dunkley, stack them together. I love it.
But Houston, loving Houston's form, loving his matchup this week. I think he's definitely worthy of a silver. Butters, this is prior to knowing the Rosie, and I actually thought it was going to swing the other way.
Even then, he's got such a tasty matchup.
He does, but I actually think Walsh, I'm going to give him the nod. I think Walsh is good here this week.
You're right. I've got no complaints, which is a rare for me.
Waterman,
go through these.
Waterman's really good matchup.
We got to watch that game together, and man, he looks terrific. He looks so good. I've got what I say. I got 4 gold Watermans. I don't have them in any other rarity, so that'll be handy next week when I can throw a couple of them out into our new competitions, particularly the Challenger competition. I can tell you, Waterman Gold's going straight into that one. But I would love to get my hands on a bronze and silver one of him because he's been terrific.
Just going to pull up this comment. Auntie Booger, I'm going to select you as my second member of my squad. And no confidence in Rucks this week. I've dropped them to bronze. If there is a week to do it, like the thing is, Rucks have such a high average. And normally I would say absolutely not. You want to get some sort of salary cap there, whether it's a silver on both, silver on one, however you want to do it, whatever floats your boat. But this week, can't. I just can't. I have so, like Cal, I feel like you have direction. You knew what you want to do and you still went double bronze.
Yeah, like I said, the headache was still going there. I did think about putting the I had a platinum Meek and it was on there for a moment and I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm not at that I'm not at that point of the season where I need to start doing
you
that.
You got to take risks, but I don't know if that's called a risk. There's another word for that.
That's between us, that's called Liam Kerm. That is what he would be doing, locking himself in.
All right, but let's get through it, Cal. We've got plenty more tiers to go. We've got 20 minutes until kickoff. Fisher form, I just don't think we need to talk about that. Let's go. I'm loving Duggan this week against the Crows. I think that game has fantasy points in it. And, of course, Dawson on the other end in that same matchup. Haney, because how can't you? And the king of chippies, the king of kickouts, the king of the kick mark combination himself.
Talk to me about Duggan, because I've got him in there, but he's very much on the chopping block.
I don't want to convince you to play him, in all honesty.
So he's in my squad. He's in my squad.
Yeah, but I'd actually rather you drop him. So I don't know if I want to say anything good. And if he's on your chopping block, did you see the game? I think he had 18 disposals at halftime. He definitely cooled off a little bit in that second half against the Demons. But my goodness, just the way they were coming out of their defense and the way they're transitioning the ball, they want to get it into Duggan's hands every single time, ideally. They're trying to get it to him because it's one of the best ball users they have out of their defense. He has a really good kick, and it's a long kick. So he can get over the top of a zone. He can get over the top of someone playing the short one. Get it in Duggan's hands. So I'm just looking at him. The season he's had as well. Like, look at his average, man. I think it's like 100 and it's tasty. It's like 119, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Maybe 127 on my silver.
Well, Auntie Booger was asking, how can you not love Duggan? It's not that we don't love him. It's just not that I don't love him this week. It's just that there's some tough matchups because Jordan Clark, who's had a ripping season so far, he put up 170 last week, and he's in neither squad. So there is just some good matchups down back. True. It is getting a bit crowded. We spoke about like Whitfield's fallen off, but it's tough there at the moment because there's very much 6 or 7 playable players. So you just got to scrutinize everyone. Just make sure they're there for a reason, and you just haven't let them over from the last week. But again, you're doing pretty well so far. I liked it better at the start of the year when I could just abuse these ones.
Okay, let's move on then. I've got 4 platinums this week. I'm going Goulden, Sarong, Flanders, and Zorko. Goulden, literally just off what the conversation we had before, this guy's nearly averaging 20 kicks a game. Man, I can't have someone that's averaging that many kicks and not putting them at platinum. I just think there's a flaw in terms of fantasy. Like, will he boom and potentially score as much as the others that you see on the screen? I don't think so. I just think as a fantasy flaw, though, it's so high, deserves the platinum spot this week.
Yeah, I like it, and I know we do awards. We make up awards on our YouTube show.
What's this award?
He'd win the award for player most likely to have ruined your week by not picking him. Like you go into this start, you'll be sitting there in 15 minutes time. He'll have already had 3 kicks. You're looking around and you're like, how did I not play this guy?
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%. He's the type of player that actually won't get a touch for the first 5
Flanders
minutes.
Flanders against the Blues.
You sit there and you're like, man, I've done the best decision ever with Goulden. And then for the next 10 minutes, he racks up, like, as you said, just so many. He just does them in bursts. And
yeah, talk to me about Flanders.
I'm not taking Flanders out of platinum until he proves me wrong. He hasn't had one bad game this year, all right? And I had him at platinum at the start, and he's just continually deserved this tier, all right? There's just no other tier that he deserves. He should maybe even be higher. I think the point you could argue, Cal, is that Flanders could be higher this season.
What's the highest Flanders you have in your collection?
A silver, and I rock him every single week.
I'm just fact-checking your tiers. I'm just trying to find holes in it. I agree with Distinct, though. Zorko shouldn't be a platinum. This guy should be red right now. He is red hot. So much so that people are worried that he's going to become an all-star and then going to retire. So we definitely want him hanging around for another season.
I've got a bit of a shock for you moving forward.
All right, hit me. We still need one more person each for our team. You've gone Dunkley.
Dunkley Diamond. This is one of these players that I don't think he's gotten, at least between us, Cal, he hasn't gotten enough flowers this season. Just the year that
he hasn't.
He's just going, it's not even under the radar at this point. I think in the first 2-3 weeks, let's call it under the radar. Well, as of right now, he is just every single game punching out some monster scores. And this week in particular, against Hawthorn, who give up some of the most points to mids in the competition. And you've got a Zorko and a Dunkley. I'm starting both with confidence and be putting a lot of salary cap on each.
Yeah, and I want to give you some numbers here because he's been, particularly over the last month, he's been in most squads because he's had some monster scores. His silver's averaging 140, and that's what I've got at the moment. So what's that, 127? Do you know how many games he's had under 100 this season?
I'm going to say 1. I think he said like 1 maybe average. No, not even.
Well, not even a game under 100. Okay. So that tells you everything you need to know. Yep. And he's done this and he's only kicked 2 goals for the whole season.
Yeah.
So he's not getting those big points. He's just accumulating the footy, taking a lot of marks. I don't know how his average marks here, but I reckon just looking at the stats, I reckon that's an average of 8 tackles a game. So he's just getting busy. I don't hate it. If I had a better than a silver Dunkley, I'd actually deploy it this week.
Likewise,
but I don't.
I just don't have better than silver.
So if you've got what are we up to? Bronze Fishers, better than silver's Dunkley. Come hit me up on the Discord after.
Please do not. And yeah, Jess Dunkley, man. Oh, so good. Such a good pickup.
Before you
He's just
share
a
your
player
next
I start
one,
with confidence.
Before you share your next one, can you bring up? There was a comment from Rushi. He was asking me, "Tell me the best performing player is," and I'm going to put you on the spot here, Tom. So Rushi, you're going to join my team. I'm going to actually include you in the game we're going to do in just a moment. But whoever Tom has on this next screen, that is who the best performing player in the game is. It has to be.
It, sorry.
It's a bit down there. 1906. Can't find it. Don't worry, Rishi. I can see you.
Sorry, man. Here we are. My bad.
Here we go. You go. You ready for this? Tom is about to tell you who is the best performing in the competition.
Ready?
Who is a must start?
What if it's multiple though? What happens there?
There you go. Multiple options.
Well, it's not. One. It's Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos has got the legend. He's back. Nick Dacos. Any doubts? Any little things at the start of the season? They're all out the window at this point. Yes, Tim English wasn't in my tiers this week. I've made it very clear that I'm not playing higher than a bronze or rucks. I didn't have any rucks in. If anyone deserved it, and I don't want to admit this, it probably was Marshall. But anyway, if anyone deserved it, it might have been that one. Out of the four.
Is that the first time all year that this has happened?
Yes, it is. And in all honesty, it will be the only time that no rucks will be in the tiers.
No, I was talking about English out of them. This is incredible.
Yes.
You've finally woken up and realized you finally woken up. He's the fourth most informed ruckman in the comp. After Marshall, Gordon, Lloyd Meek.
Keep telling people to play legend, and he's just not performing. I can't sit here as someone who's meant to be giving fantasy advice. Like, look, that doesn't mean English gang isn't still representing, all right? We're still representing. I just can't be swaying people.
We'll see when our boy Brody Grundy touches him up tonight, hey?
My boy, Brody Grundy.
I don't see you repping any Swans merch.
I got to pick one more. We're about to get into it. I pick my boy, Evan. Evan's here. And do you know why? Because he knows this bloke, Tom, whoever he is, he knows what he's talking about.
Apparently.
It's my squadron. My squadron's D-Sync, Auntie, and Velonis. Let's go. Your squad he's done? You set your squad?
Yeah, I've got Skip, Corporate Ruse, and Rushi.
Let's go, squad. So this, like what you're seeing in front of you, throw it out the window. This week we're doing give. And that's the idea that Cal had before. And I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it.
Fantastic. Let's get into it. Keen to give it away. I think you're just sick of me stealing the best cards off people. So we just thought we'd do this in the order of our listeners following along. So am I up first, Tom, or you want to take it away?
I've been having some pretty good luck going second, so I'll give you the choice. I feel like
I'll go first. I'll get in there. We'll open it up. Still yet to see a legend card on any
I'm not going to put my mouse over any of them because you're going to decide right now from your squadron, from left to right, who's getting what card blind.
Well, I'm going to keep this nice and simple because it's almost 7:30. We're going to go Skip, Corporate Ruse, and Rushi. Left to right.
Skip, you are getting yourself a jelly.
Oh, yes.
Belly.
He's a great player.
Corporate Ruse next. He's got a bloody.
Yep.
Multi-comps. Ooh, probably
no.
not the one you want.
No.
And to finish it all off, Big Gaza. Big Rowan.
Rushi, there you go. Gary Rowan. Is he even playing tonight? I don't know. No, he's not playing tonight. The answer is no.
He plays for Geelong. So
he plays for Geelong. That was last week against the Suns.
Alrighty. My squadron. Let's go. What have we got, first of all? Okay, we're keeping it simple this week. All right. I am going to go with Auntie, D-Sync, Velonis, Auntie, here's your card, Mitchie Lewis. For some reason, I just want to make this clear. I think I own all of the Mitch Lewises in our game. He just loves to come to me in packs. Every time I have a pack, Mitchie Lewis makes it known. I can give this one away at least, which is good. D-Sync, McDonald, the key forward pack. What have we got next? Tom Hawkins doing to finish?
Yeah, this is Tex. I'm calling it. Big Tex. Jeremy Sharp.
Booger, Mitch Lewis, D-Sync, Big McDonald, and Velonis. Evan, I'm sorry. Sharp. It's coming your way. But alrighty, man. That wraps us up. The game that is about to come, Cal. I'm excited. Swannies, Bulldogs. Oh,
do you want to hear something? Normally
on.
at this time of the week, I'm like freaking out over some decision. And normally in these 10 minutes before we finish up and the game starts, I make at least one change. Oh, you got a nice new angle of us.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. Lloyd Meek is here to stay. I know you had an earbug. I reckon if you would have said, what are the chances that Callum gets off the stream, and by the time he turns on the footy, Lloyd Meek is out and Timmy English is in or Brody Grundy's in. I reckon you would put
100%.
Yeah. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Okay.
And I'm not bluffing here too. Lloyd
Fair enough.
Meek season. Don't be weak. Play Meek.
Love it. Alrighty, let's get some predictions for tonight. I, of course, am going with my Swannies. I think the Swannies are going to touch up the team that's been in and out of form this year. We match up really well across the ground. I think especially our forwards are gonna do some work. We saw how good they can be last week against Carlton.
I reckon our Swannies get beaten by the Dogs this week. Dogs bounce back game, just like Ken. Bevo, what is it?
The only team we'll lose to is someone like Richmond. And I'll tell you what, the Dogs are playing better than Richmond this year, which means we should win because according to us, it's a very winnable game.
It is a very winnable game. Auntie Big was saying, don't do it. Change nothing. You'll regret it. I'll regret it either way. We're going to regret this either way.
We'll regret it.
Just the way that we've been going. So, but it's all right.
What else, Cal? Give me top scorer tonight.
Geez, who am I playing?
I'm hoping it's Golden, personally.
Yeah, I would love to say
I'll go someone else, though, to keep it
I'll go Isaac Heaney, just because that's what I want. I'm trying to manifest it for the game.
I reckon Chad Warner goes big again today. Bit of a pod play. Chad's been in some ripper form. He needs to kick goals, though, to have a big game, and I think he will do it.
Can I change my pick?
Go on.
Who am I going to say?
I don't know.
Come on. Favorite player in the competition. Who do I want to have a big game?
English.
Not English. James Rowbottom. Every week in the Discord competition, Tom, I put down James Rowbottom, 166 points. He is yet to score 166 points and he's yet to win a round. So I'm going to keep doing that. I also want that. Tom, that's a great little segue for your little Discord competition that you run every single week. Geez, I can't speak. I'll shut up.
It's okay. Let me take it away from here, Cal. I want one last thing before we let everyone go. I want your most disappointing player of tonight. If you're going to start this person in your squad, who do you think just won't live up to the name? And I'm going to go with Bailey Dale. I don't think Dale, he had that ripper form. He was in some insane form throughout the year. I don't want Bailey Dale this week in my squad. And it's probably hence why I didn't have him in my best 7 when you saw my squad before.
I don't know if you can read that.
No. Backwards for everyone.
Backwards for everyone. There you go. Don't know tech. It says English. I was worried I couldn't spit it out, but Tim English, most disappointing game. Grundy is going to sweep him. So,
alrighty. Yeah. Well, look, if you haven't, we've got to run a Discord competition on Game Day Squad under the Discord comp tab. All you have to do is guess the highest scoring player for a particular round, and you can win some packs. All the rules, everything you need to know are there in the Discord competition tab. So, mate, shoot away. You never know. You might just get the highest winning or highest scoring player. Win yourself some free packs. But Cal, I think that's going to wrap us up. We got 6 minutes till game time. Get yourself a beverage. Get yourself a snack, some dinner, however you're rolling tonight. Let's go. We got a ripper in front of us. The Western Bulldogs are taking on my Bloods, the Sydney Swans. Let's go. Let's go.
Too hyped. Appreciate everyone jumping on. We'll see you this time next week. Good luck this week.